Good morning, Elle Ingalls here at elleingalls.com. And if you're new to my show, I'm the creator of the Pressure Free Method. If you want to learn more, you can just go to elleingalls.com and schedule a time to talk with me. It's a really easy way for us to have a conversation so you can learn more about what I do in the Pressure Free Method. So I created this method in 2010, and today my topic is the thoughts that are in your head. Many years ago, I'm going to say like 20 years ago, I read a little book by this guy, Ken Roberts, that said, in the book it said, your thoughts are not your friend. And I thought that was really an interesting way to go about thinking about how some of these thoughts in our head do or do not serve us. We make up a lot of stuff in our minds, and sometimes these thoughts are not helpful. And I ask my clients, I will say to them, are you being your own best friend? Are the thoughts that are going through your mind, are the things you're saying to yourself helpful, or are they hurtful? And I even caught myself this morning with some thoughts that were, really pretty negative. Sometimes it'll happen after a really great time. Like we had a fabulous weekend, flying to Denver and back, and then all the stuff we were doing. And so sometimes the negative thoughts will come after you've had a really good time. Dr. Gay Hendricks talks about that in his book, The Big Leap, as you hitting the upper limit problem. And you'll actually cause yourself to go down. You'll self-sabotage. I'm sure you've heard of that before. You'll self-sabotage with these negative thoughts and take yourself out of the great. So how do we stay in the great longer? How do we be our own best friend? It's kind of chilly out here this morning for this time of year. So I have a 3-step method I use to help when those thoughts start to go negative, and I'm going to share it with you this morning. So the first thing that I do is I use my body. I place a hand on my belly and I relax my abs. I work with my clients all the time with this one. If you can get out of your head and into your body more, it's very helpful. So the first tools of Pressure Free are actually physical tools, including breathing, which I'm not going to go into today because it's rather an extended talk. But if you simply put your hand on your belly and relax your abs, it tells your brain you're not in fight or flight. It tells your brain that you're okay. And it gives you a second to start to rewire what's going on here. So we're using the body first. So relax your abs, and then I smile, and I look up in my head and I'm like, I use a slogan, actually I should say it's 4 steps. Relaxing the abs, smiling. Smiling keeps dopamine flowing. Your outer brain will still work for you. You won't go into your reptile brain, your survival brain, if you get a little dopamine flowing. That's the neurotransmitter you need to think. And then I will say, I will ask an empowering question. I call it flipping the switch, turning the lights back on in your head with the smile, and I'll look up and I'll say, caught you, catching the brain going negative, and then I'll say, okay, how can I, or what can I? So if you start your questions with how can I or what can I, usually your brain is going to come up with something that empowers you towards solution. That's what you want to start to focus on. If you're having a negative thought, that's taking you in the opposite direction of your actual solution. So see if you can flip it and say, okay, so if you have a health situation going on, you can ask yourself, how can I improve my health? Now, here's the little trick. Most people, when you ask that question, you're going to immediately start to look for the answer and want to act on the answer. And I always coach my clients to be patient about the answer. So ask the question, how can I stay healthy here? Or how can I solve this issue? Or how can I mend this relationship? Whatever your empowering question is, ask the empowering question and then allow the answers to come organically. Don't try to force. If you've read that book, Power versus Force, I'm all about that. You need to ask the question gently and let the answers come to you organically. If you try to force the answers, it may cause more disruption. So it's, again, instead of fighting, we're empowering. There's a huge difference. If you're an athlete and you're trying to do better in your athleticism, if you force too much, it can cause injury. If you ask the empowering question and say, how can I achieve this goal? How can I have a better ERA if you're a baseball or softball player? How can I get a lower time? How can I run faster? How can I jump higher? If you're a scholar, how can I learn more intently? How can I really take this information in so it always is accessible? How can I? What can I? So those empowering questions will move you towards solution. And again, let the answers come organically. So I've had so many times in my life now, especially since 2010, when I have asked the empowering question and the answer may come like 20 minutes later, a day later, 2 hours later. I don't know when the answer is going to come. But if I'm patient and stay open and receiving to the answers that my amazing brain and body can come up with, it's far superior than if I had forced some kind of answer. I actually play little experiments with myself to see if this is the case. And it certainly has rung true that the more that I can really step into the empowering questions that power me toward what I want to achieve. I do it all the time with my violin playing. If I get stuck on a passage, I just openly say, how can I play this more beautifully? I say that to my violin students and viola students all the time. It's like, how can you play this more beautifully? And again, I don't want an instant answer. See, we're in a culture where we expect instant answers, especially today with the internet. It used to be we had to do hours and hours of research and look up all kinds of books to come to an answer on almost anything. Today we just go on our little phones. We get this instant answer. So what I'm saying is rather counterintuitive to how today's society is really answering questions. They're like instant. Power versus force. Go for empowerment versus forcing. And some pretty amazing answers will probably come up for you. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've learned something. If it's been helpful, let me know. If you have other ideas for empowering questions, I'm very curious. So feel free to let me know. You can private message me or put it down here. But how do you power yourself up? How do you get rid of your negative thoughts? I have this system I use. You might have something that could fit into the system too, and I would love to know about it. I learned from my clients. I'm always building new tools based on surveying and learning from my clients, working with them. So Empowering Question has helped thousands of people, and so many of my private clients, they really dig into it. They really dig into the empowering question, and it's incredibly helpful. In fact, I wanted to title one of my books Empowering Question, but I kind of have to go a little deeper than that. So wishing you a fabulous pressure-free day, and I hope to meet you in person or have you come to one of my workshops and get together soon. So hey Gail, hey Fuzhou, hey Doc, hey Dale, lots of people popping on here, and I'm going off, so please watch a replay. This is just a really great way for you to move into the direction that your brain needs to go, because so many times it's going in that other direction. Our thoughts are not always our friends. So see if you can start to put thoughts in your heads that are your friends, that power you towards solution. Bye. Have a great pressure-free day.